journey. The day I turned 5 was when I arrived. I entered the class of 2005. The first day of pre-K, I really didn't want to stay. But after a while, I made new friends. It was a great year. Everything must come to an end. In kindergarten, I made lots of friends and never became lonely again. In my class, we would always joke, and I would laugh so hard that I would almost choke. I couldn't have done without that year, for it was my year of joy. And when I think back on that year, I always say, oh boy. In the grade year of first grade, Rodman was my name, because I was so good at rods and other math games. I learned to read, write, and play. If I didn't have that year, I wouldn't be here today. In second grade, I really can't explain. Some days were fun, and some were pain. It was full of fun, hard work, and striving. I found out tough years at GA were arriving. Lots of things happened in third, but now most of these things are blurred. The science field trips were exciting, especially when the mosquitoes were biting. Let me tell you my fourth grade tale. Explorers, stamps, and the Oregon Trail. Cripple Creek, Noah's Ark, and the Civil War were never aboard. From Gettysburg to Ellis Island to the Industrial Revolution, we learned about America and Watertown's solution. Miss H.H., Miss Chavot, Mr. Martin, and Mr. Jackson. I have never had this much action. I wrote and rewrote to their satisfaction. 20th century China and rainforest games made us learn a lot of facts we never could name. We camped together, cooked together, and danced all night. We had a good time, and it turned out all right. I can't believe I'm leaving lower school. My 7 years in teachers were really cool. Now I can't wait for middle school. I hope I don't dress like a fool.
Journey to lower school. The first day of school, I enter the classroom blindly, like a small chick hatching, not knowing what I am in for. Kindergarten, frightening yet enjoyable. My suspenders still on my plaid skirt, my first 2 lifelong friends. The alphabet, the words, some like gibberish at times. The stories, the nap times. First grade now, it was like a whole new world. Calm, proud. I'm actually in a grade. India, a country of excitement. Math cards. The pictures stay in my mind like an overplayed song. The first grade play, the merry-go-round, which I won so many times on, never ending, like a circle. The lunchroom, the friends. Second grade has arrived. I move into a new building. I'm in a whole new world just like in Aladdin. Excitement, uncertainty. The secret island, the sand, the flowers, the sky, the sun, the endless hours of fun. Dinosaurs, Diplodocus, computers, Native Americans, Cheyenne. A whole new world of chaos and excitement in third grade. Colonial times, aligned to gardens. Multiplication, like a living nightmare at first. Geography. Moving to a new floor up to the 4th grade. Our teachers bringing lessons to life, as if we were really there. Exponents, adding, and improper fractions. The Revolutionary War, the Spanish Armada, the Civil War, an American bloodbath. Student Senate. I'm on top of the school now in 5th grade. I feel like a queen on the first day, who's just sat on her throne. Our classroom comes alive. The colors circle around me, and I feel dizzy, but safe. CSO, civil rights, college settlement, Chinatown. The atmosphere of China comes to life. The rainforest, tropical and temperate. All that beauty enters my mind, floating in. Sometimes the thoughts are disturbing, yet sometimes peaceful and beautiful. Mr. Jackson, his friendly smile and high fives will always stay with me. Mr. Martin and his jolly purple shoes, his enthusiasm makes me giggle every time I think about it. Mrs. Chevelle, my wonderful math teacher. I love her smile, encouraging voice, and kind comments. And Mrs. H. What can you say about Mrs. H? She's an amazing teacher who will always be with me. I love her laughing, singing, smile, and funny animal sounds. French Creek, Forest Fest, and graduation. I'm looking forward to middle school. I'm excited, but nervous. All these people, memories, and new anticipations make me the person that I am. They make all of us the complex people that we are.
Sage advice has been attributed to Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I'm planning to touch on 5 journeys today. Yes, it is indeed another. Preparing for this speech, I ran to a book that was sold to the parents of 5th graders early this year, the Writer's Express. This invaluable resource would surely have advice for novice orators. However, there was not too much help for a speech of this nature. Luck was not with me, but fate was. I recalled that Mrs. Grant had the college edition in the same series, so I asked her if I could peruse it. Reluctantly, and well after school was finished for the day, hoping that I would not bump into any of the 5th graders sneaking back into school to collect books or homework they may have forgotten during Check It Out, I crept into Mrs. Grant's office to scour the pages devoted to speech writing and speech giving. Was I embarrassed that I did not know how to write a witty, meaningful speech, laden with symbolism and sage advice for such an occasion? Was I concerned that I'd fall short in this undertaking? Would my voice disappear as it did the night before I had to conduct the discussion about the human sexuality films? I have examined my thoughts and actions during this process and concluded that I was afraid of failing. But here I am, so how could I have failed? As the ancient Chinese philosophy of balance and opposites, yin and yang, expresses it so much more neatly and eloquently than I, there is a germ of strength in every fear. Journey 2, my trip to China. As many of you know, I spent the school year previous to this one in the United Kingdom. Well, actually, I was with my brother Keith and his son Richard for a fair part of the time in England. I spent some time with my other brother, Peter, his daughter, and his wife in Dublin, Ireland, and I spent a while with my other relatives in South Wales. But most crucial were the 3 weeks I spent in China and Hong Kong in February 1997. In that short time, though I was thousands of miles from the British Isles and Philadelphia, places I have called home for most of my life, I felt a warmth and kinship with the Chinese people and culture that transcended mere interested tourists. I had studied this fascinating nation, its belief systems and history with previous 5th grade students, but now I was experiencing it firsthand. The life-changing nature of this trip becomes more apparent every day to me. Did I try to converse in Mandarin and Chinese? Of course. Did I speak Chinese well? Of course not. Did I mangle the Chinese words I did speak? I'm sure I did. But was it right to try? Was the effort worth it? You bet it was. I recall the smiles on the faces of the stall holder and his wife when I tried to explain in my broken Chinese that I wanted to buy a birthday card for my nephew. Incidentally, a pen, piece of paper, and limited phrase book work wonders. I'm sure Mr. Moser would have been appalled at my drawings of stick people. But I was able to convey that the child concerned was male and that he was the son of my younger brother. I left that shop with a number of important things. 1, a birthday card. 2, a positive sense of accomplishment. And 3, a feeling that I had made quite a rewarding effort in an area which was different from any other I had tried before. As the ancient Chinese philosophy of balance and opposites, yin and yang, expresses it so much more neatly and eloquently than I, there is a seed of success in every failure. There is a germ of strength in every fear. Journey 3, your journey to the start of the 5th grade in September. Each of us had come to Germantown Academy from many places for that day early in September 1997. I had travelled across the Atlantic Ocean. Mrs. Chabot had come from 15 years of teaching. Mr. Jackson had recently come from another school in Philadelphia. And Miss H.H., she had come from being hung, having been a GA for 25 years. Some students had come from other schools, districts, or even states, while others had come all the way up the stairs from the 4th grade on the 2nd floor of McLean Hall. How would it work out? Would everyone get along? Would we be able to climb up those flights of stairs 2, 3, 4 times a day? That reminds me, would there be any snow days? Would there be lots of homework? Would the work be difficult? All these questions would be answered over the coming months. As the ancient Chinese philosophy of balance and opposites, yin and yang, expresses it so much more neatly and eloquently than I, there is a strength and union in our differences. There is a seed of success in every failure. There is a germ of strength in every fear. Journey 4. Our journey together through this school year. Could I sum up the year in a few short phrases? Will I be able to touch on all the memories that a year such as this has made for each of you? What has made this journey memorable for us? Let me try to recall some of them. Talented writers, including Biz Bibb, Lyle O'Neill, Lee Graff, Elise Fernley, Dahlia Reichhardt, Katie Allenson, Alina Alter, Jess Limbacher, and Jenny Kleiman, and Ricky Lassing, who's shown such great growth in poetry. To students interested in math, such as Danielle David, Greg C., Michael Kruger, Tom Weber, Eric Trefferson, Brian Coombs, and Michael Butyman. To field day captains, Joe Shacklet, Chris Wilson, Nikki Finelli, and Jess Limbacher, and the many others who played hard, whatever the sport or weather, including Warren Sewell, Michael Stan, and Chris Gwynn. To those who became more serious students as the year progressed, including Katie Albach, Ali Dolloway, Ben Huddleston, Tessa Mahut, Rob Airley, Stuart Udis, Elena Lackman, Alyssa Subanos, Adam Sitzes, as well as Sarah Hurd and Julie Miller, who amassed major points on the Endangered Earth scavenger hunt. To those sensitive and thoughtful ones who took time to find out how their companions were feeling, such as Mark Wakeman, Tess Gennady, Phil Azarick, Mark McAuliffe, Lisa Brown, and Diane Binswanger. The infectious laughter of Jordan Bradstock. The techno wizards among whom are Ryan Goldstein, Evan Vandermeer, Email King Dean Ty, Melissa Paris, Donald Smith, Matt Gore, and Michael Webpage Zaplicki. For entertainment on our journey, there was Forest Fest, Flair Miller, the red-haired Granny Bat, the Bat Opera Maestro, Sam Chabot, Lee Shearer, the egotistical consumer, Hillary the dog, future lawyer, Judge Andrew Spence, the writer of the rap, Julian Noble, and the rappers, Elaine Mirabile and Becca Fitch, and those tap-dancing bats, Casey Henderson, Christina Mack, and Julia Cobb. And what about those 70s disco divas, Sarah Sultanic and Drew Tyne? And from the 50s, the king, Ricky Veltri. It all ended with the powerful voices of the Living Trees, Sarah Seibel and Julia Carl. But later on, there was yet more performing talent. Corey Pizzino and Ed Levinson with Wipeout. Myron Turner's trumpet solo. Kristen Tedonio, Elizabeth Bast, Rebecca Parmet, Marissa McGlatty, and the orchestra leader Jacqueline Kunkel singing Goodbye from The Sound of Music. And finally, Pooja's incredible Indian dance. As the ancient Chinese philosophy of balance and opposites, yin and yang, expresses it so much more neatly and eloquently than I, there is education in play and fun in learning. There is a strength and union in our differences. There is a seed of success in every failure. There is a germ of strength in every sphere. Journey high. Your journey into the rest of your life, starting with middle school. It's at this point that I should admonish you to be good, honest, and upstanding citizens. I should urge you to participate in all your activities and courses to your fullest. And I should encourage you to become model students, athletes, and human beings. So, I do so. You know that your track record is behind you in the lower school. Your present location is more like a railroad station where you're changing trains. You're getting off the lower school train, and in September, you'll step aboard a new form of transportation on the other side of the quad. Your new paths or tracks are ahead of you. Will you continue as you did in the lower school? Should you change some of your work habits? What's it going to be like to be a small fish in a big pond instead of the big fishes in a small pond? Are there things you would think about doing differently given the opportunity? Should you be concerned about the future? Only you know the answers to these questions. Even with the benefits of reading the I Ching, the Book of Changes, or Chinese fortune telling, I don't know what the future holds. It's not coincidence in my mind that you're on the threshold of a big change, a great opportunity at the end of the 5th grade. 5 is the most auspicious number in the Chinese belief system. I do know you have learned much in your 5th grade year, experienced many things in your school career up until now, and grown immensely as people, both emotionally and physically. As the ancient Chinese philosophy of balance and opposites, yin and yang, expresses it so much more neatly and eloquently than I, there are opportunities in change. There is education in play and fun in learning. There is a strength and union in our differences. There is a seed of success in every failure. There is a germ of strength in every fear. So, as you remember the experiences you have had in school so far, think of that Chinese philosophy of balance and opposites, yin and yang. By looking back, you can see forward. By recalling what has happened, you can plan for the future. And most importantly, by embracing change, you can seize the opportunities it brings.
C, please step forward. Catherine Ann Allenson. Brian Charles Coombs. Elena Danielle Lackman. Shacklet. Michael Andrew Stom. Sarah Alicia Sultanic. Drew Faith Ty. Congratulations, 5C.
Miller. Thomas. B. Fife Todd. Stewart Udis. With 5J, come on down.
Alina Alter. Catherine F. Albach. Robert Packer Ailey. Philip A. Azaric. Michael John Beautyman Jr. Danielle M. David. Alice Alexandra Fernley. Nicole Christine Finelli. Rebecca Claire Fitch. Lisandra Parisi Graf. Kristen Michelle Gwynn. Jennifer Ann Kleiner. Michael Aaron Kruger. Edward Hunter Levinson.